Hey traders, Nick Shane here looking at Snap. Not my favorite company, not my favorite stock. I have traded it mostly on the long side and made money on it at extremes, and this is an opportunity here. This opinion is purely technical, nothing to say about the actual viability of the fundamentals. And of course, nothing here is set in stone. This is just one man's opinion. Okay, so looking at the chart, obviously it has had a great run up. I actually meant to enter the trade earlier, a few days ago, and I kept repeatedly forgetting. Actually, I didn't forget. I set an order and I thought it failed and it hadn't, and I got busy throughout the day. So here it is. The breakout has happened. So is it too late? I don't think so. And follow me. This is a 2-hour chart, so lower time frame. And the rally off of the May lows is definitely big enough to where it could be. It's 30% from the lows. But let's zoom out to one time frame first, which is the daily. So yesterday it had an up 11% day, and I said that it wasn't done yet. And here it is today, up another 1%. The important part is the breakout, and I just added the visual representation via this turquoise looking thing. But before that, I had highlighted that this zone is important, and we just crossed it. So to illustrate this, I'm going to go to a weekly chart. So you remember when it came out of the box, everybody loved it way up here. Everybody loved it, and then it fell into a descending channel. And everybody that tried catching and following up, it was like GE. This was definitely wrong, and as this was wrong. So where can it go now? Now, this is a weekly breakout. If the pattern is indeed the breach of the neckline of this, some sort of an inverse head and shoulder, then the upside could be closer to 20 than here. So even if I'm not long yet, I could get long, recognizing that there's going to be stopover points like 13.5 to 14.4 zone is going to be tough because it was a ledge from which it fell apart here. So the area is not a hard line in the sand. But I knew that this white circle, I've had this on my chart for a while, so it's like a confluence of things. You got a horizontal line zone that we just mentioned. We've got a descending channel that's being breached. That's why I put that little circle. And we had a neckline of an inverse head and shoulder-ish pattern. So I thought to myself, okay, so a breach of this white circle is going to be pretty significant, and it's going to carry. So here we are. Are we breaching this little white circle? So that's where the idea comes from. That this rally in Snap may not be over, even though it's just insanely big. So if I wanted to mark it up, ideally, usually you see a breakout of the neckline, and then they test it for footing, and then they go back up, and they do some sort of something like this, unless there's an event. So this would be the idea. So how do I chase it? I buy the shares. Tons of ways of doing it. If I use options, there are literally hundreds of ways of doing it. Calendars, but for calendars, a day of up 11% will ruin your calendar. So maybe a diagonal better, or a debit spread, a vertical spread, or selling puts or put spreads, depends on whether I want to own the shares or not, or a combination of selling put spreads and buying call spreads. Hundreds and hundreds of ways of doing it. The bottom line is I don't short this pop. I don't fade this pop. I could still try to chase it. So this is a weekly chart. Going back to the daily, this is what it looks like. Depends on where the market closes, where this stock closes today. I can still chase it. So Snap, still an opportunity.